Hello everybody, today we're going to be talking about the Wolf Motor Function Test, or the Wmft. The Wmft is a quantitative measure that tests upper extremity motor ability. It is tested by timing functional and strength-based tests and it assesses dexterity, strength, and upper extremity function. It takes about 6 to 30 minutes to assess. The typical population is stroke patients, but it can also be used on TBI patients and clients with upper limb functional deficits. The age range is adult 18 to 64 and elderly 65 plus. So there are currently two versions of the Wmft. Both are still based off the three parts: time, functional ability, and strength. So the original was used to examine the effects of CIMT in clients with mild to moderate stroke and TBI. In this one, there are more items tested and it may take longer to administer. There are 21 items that are tested. Items 1 through 6 involve time functional tasks. 7 through 14 are measures of strength, and the remaining 9 are measures of movement quality when completing tasks. The graded and more updated version, there are fewer items tested. It consists of 17 items. This one is more function-based, so 15 out of the 17 items are function-based activities, and the last 2 items are strength-based. And the graded version is more widely used now. We are going to be focusing on the updated version for this video. When you see Wmft, you should automatically think about constraint-induced movement therapy. The Wmft was originally created to show the effects of CIMT. The Wmft is the assessment used when conducting research on the CIMT. When you look at research on constraint-induced movement therapy, you will most likely see Wmft used for the pre- and the post-assessment. The scoring for this assessment is based on a 6-point ordinal scale. 0 being does not attempt with upper extremity being used. 1 being upper extremity being tested does not participate functionally. However, an attempt is made to use the upper extremity. In unilateral tasks, the upper extremity not being tested may be used to move the upper extremity being tested. 2. Does but require assistance of the upper extremity not being tested for minor readjustments or change of position, requires more than 2 attempts to complete, or accomplishes very slowly. In bilateral tasks, the upper extremity being tested may serve only as a helper. 3. Does, but movement is influenced to some degree by synergy or is performed slowly or with effort. 4. Does, movement is close to normal but slightly slower, may lack precision, fine coordination, or fluidity. 5. Does, movement appears to be normal. You will be given a score on this scale for the 15 function-based activities that are assessed. When completing the task, the assessor will document the score for each task. Note that items 7 and 14 are the strength-based tasks and are not given a score of 0 through 5. The assessor will document the strength in pounds for item 7 and kilograms for item 14. Time is also taken in consideration for this assessment. The client is given 120 seconds to complete each task. The time should be recorded for the 15 function-based tasks. Time will be reviewed during the scoring portion. To find out the client's score, the assessor will add up the 15 functional ability scores. The maximum score that one can receive is 75. Lower scores are indicative of lower functioning. Along with the final functional ability score, there is also a final time score. The final time score will be the median time required for all time tasks executed. 120 seconds is the maximum time allowed for each task attempted. You will need a lot of equipment to perform this assessment. You will need a table about 28 centimeters long, a chair, a bedside table, a box about 25 centimeters tall, free weights, a can, a pencil, a paperclip, checkers, cards, a key lock with the key, towel, basket, and a dynamometer for measuring hand grip and strength. Along with these other materials, you also need the Wmft template. It is necessary to perform this assessment. It's for the proper placing of different objects used, and also it has different lines and measurements used to direct the hand movements in the different tasks. When using this assessment, you will always test both extremities, but you always want to test the non-affected side first.
Good.
All right, place your forearm on the table as quickly as you can. Do it just like this. At the end of the movement, your forearm and hand should be touching the surface of the table. Do this as quickly as you can. Do you have any questions? No. Ready, set, go. So for this task, Professor Saclosa would get a 4 on the functional ability scale because her movement is close to normal, but it is slightly slower. Keep in mind that you do time each task, and that is taken in consideration for scoring at the end when you take the median of the scores. Go. Place your forearm on the box as quickly as you can. Do it just like this. At the end, your whole forearm should be flat and touching the surface of the box, and your hand drooping over the edge of the box. Your wrist is beyond this line, and your elbow should be completely on the surface of the box. Do this as quickly as you can. Ready? Do you have any questions?
No.
Ready, set, go.
It's not going to be easy, you know.
I would also give Professor Saclosa a score on this assessment because of the slightly slower movement. Slide your hand across the table by moving your hand away from your body and straighten your elbow to its fullest extent. Your thumb should cross this line. You can raise your elbow from the table if you like. Also, please keep your shoulders level and just move your arm just like this. Do not lean over. Keep your body as straight as possible. Do this as quickly as you can. Do you have any questions?
No.
Ready, set, go. I would give her a 3 for this task. She does attempt to use her hands, but it is influenced by her atrophy. Push the weight across the line by moving your hand away from your body while trying to keep your elbow on the table. Your forearm should remain in contact with the weight until the weight crosses the line. Also, again, please keep your shoulders level and just move your arm just like this. Do not lean over, keep your body straight, do this as quickly as you can. Do you have any questions?
Nope.
Ready, set, go. That's it. Place your hand on the table so that the heel of your hand is beyond the 2 centimeter line. Most of your hand should be placed in the circle. Your hand does not need to be flat. Do this as quickly as you can.
Midline?
Yep. Ready, set, go. Good. Lift your hand from the table and place it on the box so that the heel of your hand goes past the edge of the box. Do this as quickly as you can. Do you have any questions? Ready, set, go. So for task number 7, before you start the task, the examiner is going to determine the appropriate starting weight by resisting the patient's attempt to hold the elbow extended, shoulder flexed to 90 degrees. The stronger the patient appears, the higher the initial weight should be. If patient is weak, task should begin with lower initial weight. Increases in the amount of 2 pounds should continue until the patient's maximum or 20 pounds is reached. When the patient has reached his or her apparent maximum, the next trial should be 1 less pound. If that weight can be lifted, it is recorded as the maximum.
So it's gonna be this, and then this, and what else? That's real. Oh, I'm such a wimp. So this, okay.
Okay. Place your hand on the box so that the heel of your hand is beyond the front edge of the box. Keep your back against the chair. That is very important. Take your time. You do not need to hurry. Do you have any questions?
Nope.
Ready, set, go. Slide the weight across the table toward you until it is past the line nearest you. Do the task entirely by bending your elbow. The weight should remain in contact with your hand until it crosses the line. Do this as quickly as you can. Do you have any questions?
Nope.
Ready, set, go. I gave her a 5 for this test because she does attempt with her upper extremity being tested and her movement appears to be normal. Lift the can to your mouth without touching your lips. It is important that you use the appropriate grasp, and an overhand grasp is not allowed. Do this as quickly as you can. Do you have any questions?
Mm-mm.
Ready, set, go. No, pick up the pencil using your thumb and first 2 fingers and hold it in the air like this.
Okay.
The pencil should be picked up on the table and not over the edge of the table. Do this as quickly as possible. Do you have any questions?
Nope.
Ready, set, go.
Good.
Go. Pick up the paperclip using your thumb and index finger and hold it in the air like this. The paperclip should be picked up on the table and not over the edge of the table. Do this as quickly as possible. Do you have any questions?
No.
Ready, set, go. Good. Stack the 2 end checkers onto the center checker. The checkers do not have to be perfectly stacked, but the top 2 checkers must not touch the table surface. Do this as quickly as you can. Do you have any questions?
Nope.
Ready, set, go. Flip each of the cards over. You should slide the card toward you so that it goes a little over the edge of the table. Start with the card on your left side, then the center card, and then the card on your right side. The card should be flipped over from side to side rather than from end to end. The card may land anywhere on the table, so you do not need to straighten the cards after turning them over. Do not lick your fingers and do the task as quickly as you can. Do you have any questions?
No.
Ready, set, go. Good. Squeeze the handle down as far as you can for at least 3 seconds and then let go when I say release. I will ask you to do this 3 times with a 1-minute rest between attempts. Do you have any questions?
Can it be on the table, or am I supposed to be backed up?
It can, yep, it's supposed to be on the table.
Okay.
Ready,
Mm-hmm.
set, go. 1, 2, 3, okay, rest.
55 pounds.
Ready, set, go. 1, 2, 3, rest. Set, go. 1, 2, 3, rest. Grasp the key between your thumb and your forefinger and turn the key first to the left side as far as the key will turn to here. And finally return the key to the original vertical position, then test to the right side. There's a stop on either side, so be sure you move the key until you reach this point. Do this as quickly as you can. Do you have any questions?
Nope.
Ready, set, go. Nice. Nice. Grasp the far corners of the towel and fold it lengthwise. Then fold it in half across its center by using your left arm. Try to get the ends of the towel close together. In order to complete the task, the ends of the towel must be close together. Do the task as rapidly as possible. Keep your back against the chair if possible.
Okay.
Do you have any questions?
Mm-mm.
Ready, set, go. Nice. Wow. Pick up the basket with your left hand and place the basket on the rolling table. The far edge of the basket should go past the far edge of the bedside table. Try not to move your feet while you do this task. Do this as quickly as you can. Do you have any questions?
No.
Ready, set, go. Nice. Three studies have been done to analyze the test-retest reliability of Wmft. All three studies had found the test-retest reliability to be excellent in individuals who have sustained a stroke. Three studies have also been done to analyze the inter-rater reliability of the Wmft. All three studies found the inter-rater reliability to be excellent in individuals who have sustained a stroke. For concurrent validity, correlations were found between the upper extremity Fugel-Meyer assessment and the Wmft, with R being negative 0.57. The Wmft was also compared to the Action Research Arm Test. Excellent correlations were found. For construct validity, a research study was conducted that showed Wmft scores for the dominant and the non-dominant hand of individuals without impairment were significantly higher when compared to the most and to least affected upper extremities of clients who have sustained a stroke. No studies have been reported of the content or predictive validity of the Wmft. The minimally clinically important difference for functional ability in clients post-stroke was 1 point for dominant side affected and 1.2 points for non-dominant side affected, or 17% change dominant side affected, 20% change non-dominant side affected. The MCID for time was negative 19 seconds dominant side affected, or 16% change dominant side affected. One bias that was found for this assessment was gender differences. In different studies conducted, men typically demonstrated faster reaction times, movement speeds, and tapping speeds. Women were more likely to typically not be as strong as men for either the more or less affected upper extremity. There were no other biases or differences found.